All right, welcome in, boys. Take it to the bank NASCAR prop show. Homestead, Miami on the docket this week. Coop and Iowa did the outright show on Tuesday night. I was not around, unfortunately. Had to do something with Abby, but we're here, gentlemen. How are we? We're coming off a shitty week. I know that we were trying to go for 7 outright winners in a row. That failed miserably. I got my dick kicked in on Sunday. Friday and Saturday were good enough where it mitigated the damage. I ended up dropping like 2 units on the weekend with how bad Sunday was. But all in all, it is what it is. We move on. It's been a great few weeks. How are we doing?
Well, that's what I was telling Coop when we were doing the outright show, Keg, is, you know, you get this feeling like you're almost invincible betting on these races when you hit 7 or 8 of them in a row. And then you get humbled real quick when you whiff.
Yeah, it hurts. When you whiff, it hurts, bro. Yeah, it hurts.
Yeah. And it doesn't matter how good Friday and Saturday was. Leaving Sunday without a cashing ticket is a really rough way to spend the entire week.
I lost a lot of money on Sunday. I was just lucky Friday and Saturday were pretty good.
Yeah, but it's hard to remember Friday and Saturday when that last race leaves a sour taste in your mouth.
Yeah. Especially when we couldn't get that 25-1 on Berry at the end, man. God. Brutal.
It was a blur. The last 20 laps were a blur. What are you going to do?
Cooper, how we doing, old man? How you feeling?
I'm drinking a water. What does that tell you?
You're not feeling great.
And you're out of Diet Dr. Pepper in the house?
I don't want to get people excited here or not excited or non-excited. What's the opposite of excited, Myra?
Not excited?
No, there's got to be a better word than not excited, right? I don't want to get people not excited, but Nuke the House is going through it right now. All right? Coop's not doing that well. I'm on death's door. Yeg is fucking shaking somewhere under the covers. Meyer was just getting over being sick. Of course, Johnny, I can guarantee you that fucking kid's healthy as an ox. You can't put him down.
He was 2 of those beatboxes in at fucking probably 11 a.m. over there in California.
Doesn't even matter. Yeah, it doesn't matter what you do to him. But yeah, I feel awful this week for a multitude of reasons. Cooper's going through it. Yeah, I don't know. We're gonna try to do what we do and make some money, but it's not gonna be fun.
Nothing cures a cold like a race winner, you know?
Yeah.
I would love to have a cold right now.
I'll tell you what. You take my back problem. I'll take your temporary kidney stone. I would do that.
What a trade!
Yeah, I'll take that trade. All right. So I didn't have a chance to watch the video that you guys did. So quickly, where are you guys at in the outright market? I think that there are a clear-cut 5 or 6. Differentiating the 2 groups, I think, is a little tougher. I think it's clearly Reddick, Blaney, Larson, Byron, Bell, and then I think Chase Elliott, based on how he looked here in October. But I don't know. You could sell me on maybe him not being part of the 6, but that's kind of where I'm at. And I think it's very hard to decipher. They're all really close, man. Like, you can make the case that Ryan Blaney is the fastest car on the track the last 2 weeks. You can make the case nobody's in better form than Chris Bell. He's won 3 out of the last 4 in 2025. You can make the case that nobody's faster at Hendrick right now than Will Byron. Although it's hard to still not select Kyle Larson as your number 1. But I don't know, man. He doesn't look like the Kyle Larson that we normally see at the beginning of the year, just dick kicking everybody. Tyler Reddick, he's been fast, but he hasn't been as fast as I would have thought he would have been the last couple weeks. So, and Chris Bell, like, I mean, yeah, he's a beast. He's in incredible form. Didn't really have the car last week, but I don't know. I think it's very hard to decipher from that group of 5, though, who's going to win this race. And I guess the long shot, like your wild card, what do you do with him, is Denny. But, bro, until the guy gets off the side of a milk carton, I'm out. Show me. And then maybe I'm back in. But that's kind of where I'm at in the outright market. Where are you guys at? Quickly.
We kind of broke it into the group of 3, the top 3: Larson, Reddick, and Blaney. Right? I think those are the clear top 3, and then we kind of put Byron in that 4th spot, clear 4th spot, and then the rest of the guys were kind of a wait and see.
So you didn't mention Bell at all?
No.
Bell was with Byron, but neither one of us were very. He didn't have speed on Sunday, along with the rest of Joe Gibbs Racing.
What do you think? Let's talk about them for a second, because there are only 2 fast Toyotas right now, right? And one of them drives for Gibbs, one of them doesn't drive for Gibbs. So what is going on with Gibbs? Like, Marty's car was wicked fast last year. Denny's car was the best, if not the second best, on intermediates last year.
Mm-hmm.
So where are these guys? Like, okay, you can make the case Chase Briscoe is not Martin Truex. Fair. I guess that's fair. But like Ty Gibbs, you might as well just fucking quit.
Well, Denny Hamlin and Chase Briscoe might as well quit too. They're not far off.
Yeah, I saw an interesting thing on Twitter today. Outside of Chris Bell, JGR has not won a race since April 2024.
Why? Where do you think all this speed is, Coop, that Toyota had last year? Just other teams making strides?
No. It's something going on with them because they've fallen way off. Like Ty Gibbs can't get past 25th place. Denny Hamlin and Chase Briscoe can't get in the top 10 without some type of strategy.
That's wild.
Like Denny was up there, took 2 tires, and whoop, fell right back on Sunday.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Other than that, they're it's like I told Adam the other night, like it's not being discussed enough. Like everybody's focused on Ty Gibbs, which they should be. The guy's been horrible. But
yeah, I mean, as bad as JGR's looked, he's looked
JGR is horrible.
Really bad.
And like if Chris Bell, instead of his wins were 4th, 8th, and 12th, it might be discussed. But he's masking it right now. He's covering.
So why do you think he's the only guy that has speed?
I don't know. Maybe they're putting everything into that. I have no idea.
Don't you think it would be a company-wide problem?
It pretty much is. For one car.
I guess, yeah.
Well, so an interesting thing that Denny said on his podcast was it frustrates him more when another JGR car wins because he says all their setups should be the same, more or less.
Mm-hmm. And then on top of that, they have an Xfinity car that has no sponsorship this weekend.
Who? Gibbs?
Yeah.
That's fucking crazy.
Well, Denny's got a new sponsor now.
Yeah.
Who?
Progressive.
Oh, the insurance company?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
At least we know it. At least it's not AM, PM. Thank God. Whatever the fuck that is. You want to know
They're going
what
to sponsor him for 18 races.
You know what I'm most concerned about this year?
The numbers?
No. You would think ordinarily they're always squeezing us, right? Year to year. But this is now the 4th year in this car. And the days of us finding somebody that should be a top 4 contender in the race, but is 9th or 10th down the odds board, are fucking gone. The last 3 weeks, go take a look at the odds 1 through 5. They are the 5 best shots to win the race, period. They know. We had a 3.5-year head start on them, and we were miles ahead of them with this new car. But what concerns me more than anything this year is that the odds are dead on balls accurate in terms of your top 5 people that have the best shot to win the race are your 5 shortest odds. And while we've been getting squeezed, that has not been the case until this year. And that worries me a little bit. That worries me a little bit. Because
so what
we
are we,
were
year
able-
3
no, this is year 4.
of the next gen car?
Yeah, we started 2022. So like the days of us getting that third best chance to win the race at 16-1 are dead. Not until they come out with a new car again, and then we have a few years on them until they get it right. That's over with. This is just where we are now in terms of the odds. At least it's been that way the last 3 weeks. And it's the first thing I noticed. I was like, oh, they have too much data now. Now they know, which sucks. But
Yeah, the numbers this week were tough.
Yeah. They weren't great last week either. All right, let's go through it. So quickly, how many, like, you can't bet 6 guys or 5 guys. Like, where are you guys at in terms of like I think it's hard not to be on Blaney, Reddick, Larson, and Byron.
Yeah, I'd be the same way. Byron might be left out.
But you would agree that there are definitely people in this race that if they show up could just torch you.
Yeah.
I don't know about that. I think if Kyle Larson, Tyler Reddick, and Ryan Blaney don't show up, because if the 3 of them show up, nobody else is touching them.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, if they cut, I guess I don't disagree with that. Like, if they come with how fast they've been capable of coming, I would agree with that. But I mean, Kyle Larson hasn't shown speed this year like he had at any point in the first month of the year last year.
True.
Well, he might have had the fastest car on the track last week. He just never got up. Like when they got
I don't
pinned
know,
by
bro.
that caution.
I think Ryan Blaney had the fastest car on the track last week.
Well, that's what Coop and I were talking about. It's like you never really got to see how fast Blaney's car was because he never got in clean air.
Right.
But that's what I said. I think there was 2 cars that you could say were the best cars on the track last week. It was Blaney and Larson.
Yeah.
I just don't know how Blaney shakes out if he gets in clean air.
Yeah. Do you think that there's one viable long shot that can win this race, Coop? Or do you think those 3 guys have to just, and I guess you can include Byron and Bell in that to a lesser extent. Like, they all have to basically not show up, you think, for it to be bombs away?
Yep.
Yeah.
They robbed us of the value on Hostevar, by the way. No more 100 to 1s.
Yeah. I mean, especially for a track he runs well at, that's not going to happen.
You didn't parlay it to get it to 100?
No. Somebody tagged me and said that I could get him at 99 to 1 if I tied him to Lando. And I said, I can't.
Parlay, what? A 50 to 1 shot?
That's what Coop said to me. I told Coop I was going to do it. I was just being funny.
Can you believe that?
I can't.
Coop tried to talk me out of it.
Nobody's interested, correct?
No.
Top 5?
Yeah. I do have a top 5 bet. I bet
Ryan
Will
White.
Byron at plus 125.
Okay. I don't hate that. Plus money.
I think he's just going to be a consistent front runner, right?
Yeah. I don't really have a problem with Blaney at basically a coin flip either. What about you, Coop?
I'd have to bet Blaney before Byron. Like my fear with Byron is like he's really fast, but as the laps click off,
don't you think his tire wear is getting better though? He's getting better at managing tires, don't you think?
He's getting better, but I mean, I don't know. I don't think tire wear is that big of a deal here because they're going to pit. They get umpteenth million sets of tires this week. I think it's like 10.
Yeah.
Any long shot top 5s? I have one.
I was going to ladder Hocevar. That was it.
That would be my one.
What did you get? I think there was like a 650 out there this week.
That's what that 365 has. If you really want a flyer, AJ Allmendinger's 11-1 to top 5 this race. He's really good here, man.
Yeah, we talked about him at length early in the week. Coop was trying to talk me off of the Dinger train, and
I mean, you just
I think
can't
Coop talked himself into it.
You cannot argue with the results, and it's not like he hasn't been fast this year. Go take a look at the last couple of weeks. He's been solid.
I know that's what I told. That's what I told Coop. I would distinctly remember him saying last week because I said I'm surprised Dinger's running in the top 10, and he said Collett's been not bad. So I went back and looked. Like he has the second best finish here in the next gen car.
This might be his best oval in the next gen era.
And he started 25th and 32nd the last 2 years and has driven his way into the top 10. Now, and Coop was trying to like take some credit away from the guy. And then Coop looked it up. What's he running? 70%, 80% in the top 15, 60% in the top 15?
60, 88, and 92.
Percent of laps in the top 15 here.
Just overachiever, man. Like you're chasing it. Just like everybody chased Danny Suarez in Atlanta.
Yeah, but I mean, at what point, like, I mean, 3rd, 5th, and 8th the last 3 years, Coop? It's fucking crazy.
He finished 8th last week, I think.
AJ Allmendinger. That's what I have to say.
I bet I bet him in one group. I bet 365 for a half unit. That's the only thing I bet with AJ Allmendinger.
Well, I love that group, but I bet his top 10 at 3-1, but I didn't have access to that group. Otherwise, I would have took the route that you did. That number, Keg, was actually 4-1 when it dropped. That group bet.
Well, was it really? I
Yeah.
didn't even look at fucking odds until this morning, Myron.
I figured.
I've been going through it. That's still at almost 3-1 is crazy. Who are you afraid of in that group? Ty Gibbs? Ryan Preece? Get out of my face.
Right. I couldn't find a group that had the number that I wanted on him and the group, so I had that top 10. But I would much rather have that group bet.
Ryan
Preece, I think 365 is the only one in that group.
Yeah, but Coop, come on. It's not like he drove up there. He didn't finish where he finished based on speed. That's for sure.
Yeah. At the end, it don't matter. unfortunately.
Very true.
Well, you were just discrediting a dinger for being up there. Oh, you
Yeah.
can't have it both ways, Coop.
Yeah. Either the end matters or it doesn't matter, Coop. Like, what's it going to be?
One guy's an overachiever, and the other guy just happened to be there. Praise him. Come on,
Yeah.
Coop. The kidney stones got you.
All right. Top 10s. I think you have to bet Carson Hocevar the top 10 in this race. I kind of think you have to bet Josh Berry to top 10 in this race, considering the tire is going to wear. And the kid's faster than every fucking Ford on the track this year, except Ryan Blaney. He put me in a coffin 2 weeks in a row. I mean, there's just no other way around it. You want to know who's having the worst 2025? Harrison Burton, bro. Because if this car is like this, right, it didn't just happen all of a sudden. It didn't just, the 21's got speed. I mean, Harrison Burton might be the worst to ever do it. Wow. Ever. I mean, Meyer, look what this guy is doing with this car.
I know.
All he does is drive around in the top 5. I bet you that's not the only race he wins this year. If he keeps this kind of speed all year, I bet you that's not the only race he wins this year.
That's saying something because we know how good they are towards the end of the year.
Did you bet his championship?
No, fuck you, Coop. No, I did. You know what? Had I gotten down on that 12-1, and it saved my weekend right before they went green for the last time, I might have out of respect, but I did not because I got my dick kicked.
Coop, imagine he bet Ricky Stenhouse championship about 2 years ago. Wouldn't pull the trigger on Josh Berry.
Well, I just looked. Josh Berry's 22-1 on one book.
Oh my god,
that's crazy! 22-1.
Yeah, I like the Berry call. I tailed you on the top.
Let me ask you a question: Is it that crazy? How many cars on the track right now have more speed than Josh Berry? Really? 5?
Yeah, 5 or 6.
I mean, I will bet this guy every fucking week, except unless it's a road course, to top 10 if he's going to continue to show this speed. I mean, plus 180 that number is crazy. Is that what we bet it at?
I thought it was like 165. Maybe that was so more.
Yeah, 180 it was at Bet 365.
I think I got 175 then.
Hocevar is 180 now at Bet 365.
Yeah, I'm with you there.
So yeah, I think looking at the top 10, I think Chase Elliott, that's a fair price. I think considering how he looked in October. Oh, did you guys touch on here's the one thing that I don't know how to quantify in this race. The last 3 years in this new car.
It doesn't matter.
What doesn't matter?
Being
the weather's almost going to be identical.
No, weather's identical.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I'm just trying to save you a couple of your valuable breaths.
That was my question.
We talked about that. We talked about that on the Tuesday show.
I think Ryan actually put something out there where it is like identical.
Yeah, so I mean, Elliott had top 3 speed here in October.
I don't mind Elliott top 10 with a parlay.
This guy.
Yeah. What do you think he was going to bet it straight?
But like outside of those 3 guys that I mentioned, right? I guess you could say Tyler Reddick, Ryan Blaney, Will Byron, but like, what you're going to be having a tough time getting them down to even money at minus 350, minus 300.
Yep, you would.
So I kind of like. I would rather pass on Larson, Reddick, Blaney, and Byron and Bell in the top 10 market this week and go with a couple guys at plus money that I think are more than live to get there. It's kind of where I'm at. I'd rather save whatever parlay legs I have for the outright market or top Chevy, top Ford, something like that. Where are you guys at on the big favorites getting the numbers down?
I agree with you. I think Elliott is really the only one from a parlay piece. And then I don't mind Austin Dillon.
Really? Top 10?
Yeah, I think
The number's nice.
I saw a stat. He's top 10, 40% of his last races. I don't know how many races it was, but it kind of shocked me.
Austin Dillon
Okay.
finished.
So
Yeah,
I don't know where it is other places, but
he top 10 two of the last 3 here in the Gen 7 car. God, Austin Dillon though. Ugh.
His speed rank here, 2022 he was 9th, 2023 he was 8th, but then 2024 he had a bad fall off. He was 20th.
So let me ask you this: would you rather have AJ Allmendinger at 240 or Austin Dillon at 650?
It's close. Maybe Dillon.
But I don't know if I want my money tied to Austin Dillon.
But you'll tie it to fucking AJ Allmendinger.
The guy's got the second best
non-race
average finish here, Coop. What does the guy got to do? You're going to pull some random stat that Dillon's finished 40% of his time. How about out of the 3 races that Dangerous finished here, he has the second best finish of everybody?
Put some respect on Allmendinger's name, Cooper.
Really? I mean, the guy,
We've had
you
that talk
pick
with
and choose
Ross
why you like or
Chastain,
don't
too.
like a guy. It's brutal.
I did not expect to see those results from Austin Dillon, though. Since 2019, he's finished 8th, 7th, 12th, 4th, 10th, and 25th. That's pretty good.
Might be better than AJ Allmendinger.
But it's Austin Dillon, Coop. He sucks so bad. You're going to tell me he's a better race car driver than AJ Allmendinger? Go ahead, tell me that one. Let me hear that one.
Well, I mean, AJ's got the road courses on him by a mile.
Why do you think that number?
Dude.
Why do you think that top 10 number is plus 650 when he's finished in the top 10 basically 5 out of the last 6 at this track?
Because they really didn't do their due diligence like we hadn't, and really didn't think about it.
So, do you think that is favorable for Kyle Busch this week? Clearly, they know they have a setup.
Kyle hasn't been good here, I don't think, has he?
Kyle Busch's average, what? So 9th, 18th, and 31st in the next gen.
But the 9th was last year.
2022.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
he's only gotten worse in the next gen car.
It's a big week for Kyle. See if he can gain his momentum back that he had, or if he, continues to struggle and pull off shenanigans like he did last year.
Plus 650 is an intriguing number, though. I'll give you that. On a top,
I kind of want to hold out for FanDuel. FanDuel usually opens some of the best top 10 numbers outside of probably Bet365, but they still haven't came out with those yet.
What are they waiting for?
They just added top 3s and top 5s today. They just added Xfinity and trucks about an hour ago. They're wrapped up in March Madness. You think they care about top 10s at Homestead?
Weren't there some issues last year live betting this race or this weekend?
I don't remember. All right, so
Yeah, I don't recall.
top tens that we would be looking at: Elliott, Berry, maybe Dinger, maybe Austin Dillon. Some decent plus money shots. Team of the race winners, anybody? Any interest?
You can't do JGR. I think you just bet Reddick versus 23XI. HMS would be the only one because you could get 3 of them possibly.
Right.
Other than that, no.
Do you think Logano and Cindric show up with any speed? I mean, Fords were just faster in general than I thought they would be last week.
Yeah, they were. I don't know. Not a great track for Joey either. Joey has that problem when he falls from the lead up front. He just can't get back up there.
Yeah, he qualifies well, but then he goes backwards. Like he can hold it in clean air for a while, but then when he's not in clean air, he goes backwards.
That was a big problem that we saw last year. He would just fall through the field like a rock.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't really disagree with Coop. I think HMS would be the only one worth betting. It would be nice if you can get like,
what is it, $1.25?
50.
50.
If you can get that to like 7-1 and have all 3, that would be cool. Hard to do though.
Yeah.
Top Chevy.
Well, I guess the first question is, do you want to try to beat Kyle Larson?
I think that there's only one guy that could beat him. Probably.
Byron?
Yeah.
I mean, on
Would
paper,
you ever
yes.
Would you ever be interested in a Hocevar at 18-1? Or you think it's just pure chaos that would be the only way he could hold it?
I mean, he could top 5 this race and be the 3rd Chevy.
I don't
Maybe
disagree with that.
I'm really shocked y'all went to Hocevar.
Were you going to say Bowman at 12?
Nope.
Well, the obvious answer is Elliott.
Nope.
Don't say
He's going to try to say Dinger at 30.
at 40-1.
Yeah.
Here we go. Now we have love.
No, I'm not.
No, he's just ridiculing us.
Surprised y'all weren't.
No, he's trolling.
My initial reaction when I looked at this market was to try to bet Larson, Byron, and Elliott. But I don't really disagree with Coop. Like if Kyle Larson shows up like he's capable of showing up, it could be all over but the crying. But at the same time, bro, the way that him and Tyler Reddick run this race,
oh yeah,
you're just flipping in the marbles one time and it's a fucking wrap.
I mean, he can lead
What happened to him last year?
255 laps, and then 12 laps to go, have a bad lap and spin out or hit the wall or something.
He just kissed it last year, and then he never had the speed again.
Yep.
I mean, I guess you could look at this market where, like, you either back him and only him, or you assume that, something happens to him.
Right, but I think, would you rather get the number for him to be a top Chevy to 7-1, or would you rather have HMS to win at 7-1?
I would probably rather have him to be the top Chevy at 7-1.
Because I don't think you could do both.
Yeah. I think there's a better shot that he beats Byron and Elliott in this market because Blaney or Reddick or Bell could easily win the race, and it doesn't matter.
Right.
But what do you think about Elliott's speed last week? He didn't jump off the page at all, right? Or
He
no,
didn't.
he did early in the race because I think I bet him at 20. But then he just never really did anything from there.
Yeah, he looked like he had a solid car, but like to me, it looked like there were like only 2 clear-cut cars that looked faster than everybody else, and I guess the third car in that group I would put last week would be Josh Berry. I think you could say like him, Larson, and probably Ryan Blaney were probably the 3 best cars on the track.
But if Larson doesn't get trapped on pit road and Blaney doesn't wreck out of this race, Barry was clearly third of those guys. Maybe even fourth behind Byron. Byron had speed too, right? But he got trapped on pit road.
Yeah, Byron was fast too. I don't know. It's just such a tough market, man, when they set these guys at plus 110. The same thing with top Ford this week. It's fucking brutal.
Yeah. Well, Blaney's like minus 110, minus 130.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I'm gonna bet top Chevy. If I was going to, I don't even know if I would just try to bet Larson or if I would try to beat him. I don't know. It's a tough one to figure.
He's minus 175.
Ryan Blaney?
Yeah.
He was minus 110 this morning.
He's minus 110 at MGM right now.
He was minus 110 at Bet365 this morning, and he's minus 175.
Yep.
Holy shit.
He's minus 110 at MGM, minus 115 at DK.
I mean, Coop, how is he not the top Ford?
Same way it happened last week. Bad pit stops, bad driver decision, all kinds of ways.
There's only one top Ford I would bet right now to try to beat him. I'll tell you that.
But I don't know if the numbers are long enough on these Ford drivers. Because shouldn't Busher be more than 10-1, Barry be more than 10-1, and Cindric be more than 10-1?
Well, you got to realize from where they're coming from, right? Like Busher and Keselowski have been in that 650 to
8 range.
Yeah. So clearly they're going, I don't know what the fuck is going on with them. They've cost me thousands this year in the top Ford market. So I'm off that train until I see a pulse. But now I saw them both at 12-1 earlier today at Bet365. Keselowski is still at 12-1, but they moved Busher down to 10. I mean, they are moving the number on these guys, and they're moving the number down on Berry because he's consistently been there this year. So I guess I can't argue with it. I guess that makes sense to me.
Who would you rather try to beat, Blaney or Larson in the top market?
I'll answer before K. I think I would try to beat Larson first. Due to the fact that I don't think Blaney necessarily runs that high line as aggressively as Kyle Larson.
Mm-hmm. So you think it's a safer race for him?
Yeah, I think
I understand
he's shown more speed.
I understand what Meyer's saying. There's just an added extra layer of volatility with Kyle Larson because he's going to be 2 inches off the wall the entire race.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Right? On the flip side of that, though, right? I think it's probably easier to identify the Chevys that could beat him rather than the Fords, because I could see a world where Ryan Blaney gets into an accident and it's a person that we wouldn't even think ends up being the top Ford. like Noah, like we got on Graxon in the top Ford market last year. Like he had a decent showing, but never really was in it. Ryan Priest came from nowhere, finished third. It was like 35-1 or whatever he was to be the top Ford himself.
Right, but they cut Graxon's number in half.
Yeah. I don't know. It's tough. It's tough. There were like 5 Fords in the top 13 last week, I think.
Yeah. We talked about Ford on Tuesday. That was probably their best 1.5 mile race as a team.
Yeah.
I mean,
like, but again, like here, you know what I don't like is like it's a week where if you look, it's like I think Keselowski might have finished 10th and like Buescher might have finished 12th. Get out of my face. Get out of my face. They suck. They both suck. Brad Keselowski looks like he's driving around on 3 tires. And Chris
You were
Buescher,
kind of high on Kessie.
coming into he had a very, very strong second half of 2024. So did Buescher.
I don't disagree.
Where are these cars? I don't understand where they are.
Hanging out with Ty Gibbs and JGR.
Yeah, I don't know, but like, I just think it's the problem is like if you try to beat Ryan Blaney, it could be anybody. Like the guy that I would gravitate towards is obviously Josh Berry. He's been the best Ford besides Ryan Blaney this year. But you know, could it be Cindric or Reese or Gragson? Wouldn't shock me if Blaney ran out.
Yeah, but those starting numbers on those Fords are probably better than like the guys that could beat Larson for the top Chevy. I mean, 4 of them are under double digits.
Yeah. What do you think, Coop? If you were going to pick a couple guys to beat Ryan Blaney, who would they be?
Wouldn't be Logano. I can't choose Keselowski based upon his form. Barry would have to be an option. Buescher's shown some, life, but not enough.
Right.
Like it might just be Josh Berry.
That's what I'm saying. That's the only shot I would feel comfortable taking to beat him. Because then you're getting in the weeds. It could be bombs away. You might have to be 5 guys deep. I agree.
But then on the other end, that's giving a lot of respect to Josh Berry.
I mean, he's earned it so far.
Yeah.
I don't disagree with you, though. It is weird. Another tough market.
Yeah, they're not doing us any favors on the outright on Barry too. Remember, he was 150-1 outright pre last week. I think he's down to like 35-40-1 this week.
I would love to know the percentages that guy has ran around in the top 10 the last 3 weeks. I feel like his car is never not in the top 10. Top Toyota, I think that you could treat this like a group and just bet Reddick and Bell. I have no confidence in Denny Hamlin at all. And I just don't think there's any reason to talk about anybody else past him.
Agreed.
So I mean, if you can get that number up on Reddick to like 220 and bet him and Bell, I don't hate it. You could probably grab a unit and change there. You see anybody hanging with those 2 guys, Coop?
No. Not based upon what we've seen so far this year.
Yep. Agree.
Do you think Bubba just goes backwards too?
I think he can get up, and I think Bubba, he could be a top 10 candidate.
Oh, I think I got to place another bet. I just started looking at the group bets. So I bet AJ Allmendinger in Group B. Put a half unit on it on bet 365. But looking at Group D, Coop, you think Hocevar and Berry could beat Bubba and Briscoe?
Mm-hmm.
Bubba would be the concern for me.
What's Bubba done here, Meyer?
Bubba Wallace. He didn't race here in 2022, but 6th and 18th in the last two.
The only thing with Hocevar, though, is he's either going to do really good or really bad.
Why you think?
This is a racetrack where we talked about this on Tuesday, where you can really show your driving ability,
Yeah,
and be very aggressive. And you know that Hocevar is going to be aggressive, but just like Larson, just like Reddick, Hocevar can get swept up in one lap.
fair.
So that's my concern with Hocevar this week. Boom or bust.
Yeah.
Kyle Larson's kind of been that way too. To be fair.
I mean, why can't you take Austin Dillon in Group F?
I don't hate it. I really did not know about how strong his track history was here. So I don't hate it.
That's a pretty good number.
Who's in that group, just for reference?
SVG, Haley, and Smith.
Zane Smith.
Caesars has that group: McDowell, Haley, and Eric Jones. But the number's 240.
Yeah, this is like 225.
I mean, it's an interesting group. I'm not going to bet it, but Logano, Bowman, Busch, and Busher. I think that's wide open.
Logano, Bowman. Yeah, I would agree. I would agree with that. This is where we're at now. Chris Buescher is twice the price of Kyle Busch. Fuck you, Chris Buescher. Okay. Any groups you see that you like, Meyer?
No, none really jumped out at me this week. The prices aren't like I was getting previously without 365. So I haven't taken anything in the group market yet. I would have loved to bet that Dinger one that you're on, but I haven't bet any group bets yet.
DraftKings is always sharp with the groups, bro. They got Berry and Hocevar matched up with Chris Buescher and Bubba Wallace. Yeah. That is definitely starting to get closer to where those kids belong based on the speed that they've had this year. And not these joke of a groups on these other books. I don't really see any other ones. Let me look at Caesars.
I mean, what do you think Gregson has for speed here?
Decent.
Because like Group E on Caesars has Dinger, Gibbs, Suarez, and Gragson. Gragson's the long shot at 3-1.
Suarez.
Gibbs and Dinger, Gragson.
Yeah.
Essentially, it's just Gragson versus Dinger. Who do you think has a better race?
Right.
These odds suck this week, man.
Yeah. Yeah, this has been a tough week.
Yeah, I don't really see any other groups I like. I don't mind Coop's call on Austin Dillon as a solo shot. Solo shot that I took on Dinger at 365. Don't mind. And then I don't mind Group D either. Hocevar and Berry at like 3-1 over Bubba and Briscoe. But the problem is like, I don't know how invested I want to get. If these guys get the bet, I'm going to be out 6 units. So I've already bet them both the top 10.
Yeah, you can't get too invested in them.
Right. But I don't mind that group for people that are wondering. All right. Groups, matchups. Any matchups you guys like? I saw one, but again, for the same reason, didn't want to get too invested. So I just passed.
I kind of like Elliott over Logano if you can get the number down.
Well, I mean, if you can get the number down, I like Blaney over Larson. Or Blaney over Hamlin, sorry.
Yeah, I agree with that. I like that too.
What's the number?
135.
Wow. Because Blaney over Byron's minus 150. Like you would think that those numbers would be swapped.
You would, but you know how much respect they have for Denny Hamlin.
I don't mind taking a shot. What did you say Bubba's record was here?
So he only has 2 in the next gen. So he finished 6th and then he finished 18th last year.
You know, Bubba at 110 over Bush.
You think Bush struggles, Coop?
I don't know, but like, I think it's worth a shot, at that number.
Are you looking
Like
at his
what you
speed
said
rank?
about Denny Hamlin, they give Kyle Busch too much respect still, too.
Yeah.
I mean, Bubba always brings kind of a fast car to these. I mean, so if you include Darlington and Homestead back to 2023, I mean, Bubba's average speed rank is 9th, 11th, 16th, 9th, 8th, 13th. So, I mean, he's just kind of just outside the top 10 every race at a high tire wear, 1.5 miles.
If I had told you in February at the Clash that by the 6th race of the year, Carson Hocevar would be the favorite over Chris Buescher and Josh Berry would be the favorite over Ty Gibbs, you would have absolutely laughed at me.
I would have, yeah. Can't argue there. Sure would have. And like you and I are about as all 3 of us really are about as high as you could be on Hocevar, and I still would have laughed in your face.
Yeah.
Would you bet him at plus 110 over Bubba?
Hocevar?
Mm-hmm.
I think I like the Bubba over Bush better than that. I don't know. But it's plus 110 over Bubba?
Yeah, Bubba's minus 140 on Caesars in that head-to-head.
And what was his top 10 number? Hocevar?
Plus 180.
Oh, okay. That's 70 cents difference.
That was the one. That was the one though. I like that. I think he probably is going to be better than Bubba. But like again, how invested do you want to get? He's a kid.
Yeah, he tries to block somebody or pass somebody low, and
Right.
next thing you know, the kid's in the wall.
Gets a little too aggressive on a restart, and his day's done.
Yeah,
So.
tries to pass the wrong person in stage one. We've seen him do that too.
Correct.
And you know the sick thing is, we talk about it all the time, but how often these matchups, they just don't go away all race long.
How could it be every week they're separated by one spot? It doesn't even make sense. Like,
I was on Blaney versus Denny last week, and Blaney went a lap down, 2 laps down, and next thing I know, Denny was 2 laps down. If Blaney doesn't wreck, I'm dead.
It's unreal. I think we've only had like one easy peasy, like that Chastain over Logano was pretty easy, right?
Yeah.
That other than that one though, I mean, it's one spot. It's always one spot.
Kansas, it's a 6 sweat.
Kansas looking to get knocked out on day one, huh?
Only down. They're only down a point, right? 68, 67.
Yeah. Dark day in the Kushner household if that happens.
So it's a dark day over there.
Stage, not stage one. It's hard to tell, I guess, now. How'd you guys make out with the fastest lap?
Larson.
Saved my day.
You ended up hitting it?
It was the most fastest laps.
Most fastest laps.
Yeah.
So what did you just go with the people you thought had the best shot of being in clean air?
It correlated really well. Like if you looked at the 3 races that were there, the only driver not named Larson, Bell, and Reddick to finish first or second, and Byron finished first and second was Bowman. One time. Every other time it was
Logano when he won that race on 2 laps. But other than that, they've all been the like the person who won the race.
Fastest laps.
No. I'm saying that like when you went back and looked at who had the most fastest laps, usually was the winner of the race, except for the time that Logano won it.
It wasn't him.
And you were getting those numbers much better than the winner.
Confused.
So do you think that that's just a strategy on an oval, Coop?
Well, like I didn't bet it this week because while it still correlates well to the driver who's leading laps,
right?
It's not as well as Vegas because there was an instance where Denny Hamlin had more fastest laps than laps led, and they were a decent amount too. And there was another driver too. I can't think of it off the top of my head, but
yeah, it's much more grouped. It's not. There's not one person who separates near as much. But with that said, I did bet this market.
I think the numbers are there to be taken if you could find a right, like what we did last week. I mean, Byron opened up 30-1 last week. Evidently, he opened up 30-1 again this week.
Yeah,
I never pay attention to how many fastest laps somebody gets in a race.
Well, we don't either. We have to go back and do the research.
Well, they tell you now in that new revamped raw feed that NASCAR has, it'll keep you up to date during the race. Or Coop, it'll show you on the DFS. But I did bet Blaney at 14-1, Byron at 18-1, Reddick at 10-1, and then I did tie Larson to Lando at 9-1. So I just have those.
You're going with the people you think are going to lead laps.
Right.
Got it.
Those are good numbers.
I mean, compared to their outrights.
Right, exactly.
Got it.
It is good numbers.
Any miscellaneous props?
I did bet over 3.5 Fords qualifying the top 10. It was like plus 160 at Caesars. If they continue to show speed in qualifying, I was going to take a shot at, or I did take a shot at the number at plus 160.
What about you, Coop?
No. What's the winner of stage 1 wins the race on Caesars this week? Is it minus?
It is minus 150.
That's crazy.
Larson to win stage 1 is plus 275. To win stage 2 is plus 250.
I haven't looked at the stages to see how they break out, but I think you could see some randomness.
You could see what?
Randomness.
I have all those pulled up.
What do you think? All right, let's transition over from Cup real quick. What do you think has to happen in the truck race for Kyle Larson to lose? He needs to lose a tire, basically, for like 3/4 of the race.
Or he scrubs the wall like he did in Cup.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing is scrubbing the wall.
Man, there are some numbers on some guys that are going to be real good here tomorrow night.
Yeah, I wouldn't bet it right now because I to your point, I think the numbers will get even better during the race.
Like Majeski shouldn't be 14-1. Enfinger shouldn't be 12-1. Time, like I thought I saw 550.
Yeah, FanDuel's got 14 on Enfinger and 16 on Majeski.
I mean, come on, dude. This guy can't just blow his motor?
Well, that's the thing. I was talking to you before we went live. Is where do you attack? Do you feel more comfortable with him in a truck or Xfinity? Which one of these races do you attack?
I just like I think you can count on the guys that are going to be good in trucks easier. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I haven't looked very deeply into Xfinity yet.
I mean, the books look at it differently though, because I was thinking he was going to be 150 to 175 in the trucks.
Minus.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess I agree with them because he's a smaller favorite in the truck race.
Yes, he's minus 145 in the Xfinity race on FanDuel.
I guess you have to worry about Chastain on Friday night too. I forgot about him. He's going to be those niche trucks are solid too. They're not bad.
Yep.
Did you see what the price was on him to sweep the weekend, Larson?
Horrible.
I didn't, but just going on the fact that he's 4-1 in Cup, minus 140 and minus 130. What's he like? 9-1?
I believe you can get 15.
That's such a joke. One guy to win 3 races at 15-1
in 3 different cars.
Come on, man.
Day after day after day.
Oh.
He raced last night too in a sprint car. Or a midget. Might have been a midget.
God bless him. He really could too. That's the crazy part.
Yeah, I mean, you're not upset if you're holding that 15 or whatever 1 going into the race on Sunday.
He could sweep every race this weekend.
He could sweep every stage.
Coop, what do you think the odds are that he at least gets you to Sunday? Let's start there.
They're probably like 3-1.
That he wins trucks and Xfinity.
I mean, it's -140 and -115, right? Probably about 3-1.
I think it was like it's in that range.
Because it's crazy to say, but if you think that he gets to Sunday, then that's probably worth betting. Because you'll have him at 15-1 in that race on Sunday,
Right.
which I guess is always the end goal. Oh, God, that's so gross.
Yeah, so if you parlay that at Caesars, by the way, -140, -125 gets you to 2-1.
Okay.
FanDuel won't let you parlay because it's the same person.
Crazy.
I know MGM will let you do it. But they have like one of the worst numbers on his outright for Cup. So if you do it at MGM, him to win the truck in Xfinity is +240. If you add him in Cup, it's 1528.
I think I would rather just get him to 6-1.
What a world 2025 NASCAR betting is.
This is kind of a bleak week for parlay pieces too. Unless, do you like anything in the UFC? Okay, I don't even know if you even had time to even look.
Yeah, I do. I like a few spots. Yeah, I still want to do a little more research in bed tonight, but I like a couple spots. Yeah.
We do have the F1 race. I think is a sprint race tonight. I think the sprint race is tonight.
Sign told me Lando by a mile.
Yep. You know what's interesting is you can bet MGM. You can bet any outcome. Max, Lando, and Oscar 2-1.
What are there odds for Lando?
Say that again. Say that again.
Any outcome, 1, 2, 3, Lando, Oscar, Max.
They have to be the top 3.
Yeah. But they can finish in any order.
Right.
Those 3.
What do we have odds on? Like Norris gets the pole and wins the race.
Yeah. I know.
What are those? How much better does that price get?
Fastest qualifier and race winner, Lando's +160 at FanDuel. If you parlay that to Larson at 450, it gets you 1330.
God, thank God my kid's college tuition is paid for already.
Well, I'll tell you right now, I think that that Formula One race is like 2:30 in the morning your time. Not sure you're catching that on the show.
Yeah, that's what he said.
I mean, if you're gonna do it, just do Lando, Kyle, and hope that that'll probably get you to like 24-1 for Sunday.
Lando, Kyle. Like the guy's got a stutter.
And by Kyle, you mean Kyle Sieg and Kyle Busch?
Yeah, definitely. Or maybe I don't know. Kyle Weatherman might have a shot.
Hey, the weatherman. All right, let's get out of here. All right, we broke down the props market for you guys. You know where we're at. Tomorrow we'll be live for the NASCAR Truck Series race. You won't see Coop this weekend. He's got to work. But we'll hold it down on Saturday and Sunday. We got UFC Fight Night. All sorts of stuff going on this weekend, boys. Probably some I know tomorrow at some point I think Holden's going to do a March Madness show during the weekend when we're not on. at some
Doing
point.
it from Aaron Rodgers' retreat.
No. I don't know when, but I think he's going to do a show. But either way, we'll be live Friday, Saturday, Sunday for NASCAR. We'll have some MMA, and then obviously the tournament will be going on the whole time. So hopefully we get back on track, make some money this weekend, and that's it. Don't forget, hit the like button, subscribe to the YouTube channel if you're not a member. Use the promo code NASCAR is back for a 1-week free trial at nukethehouse.com. That's it. We'll see you guys back here tomorrow night for whatever the name of the truck race is. We're out. Later.